Is this thing on? Come on, episode 4. Come on, woo!
I've never done one of these. That was fun. Oh god, he's gonna shoot me. Just do it. Just get it over with. Oh fuck.
Oh damn, that almost really got you. It's a smoking gun, dude.
I'm not gonna do it.
Do it. Let's take a selfie.
You ready, Captain? Oh, beautiful. Let's. I don't know. Here we go. Ah! It's taking forever. Take the fucking thing. Oh. It's taking so long.
Then the life of a Shetty boy.
Life of a Shetty boy.
First off.
What are we drinking tonight? You poured the glass.
We got some California white Zinfandel.
California white Zinfandel.
Pinky's out.
Actually, it's pretty good. I didn't think I was going to like it. It's not bad, though. I usually only like really sweet wines, like a Moscato. But this isn't that bad.
Kind of the same thing.
Yeah, it's like a lightly sweet, though.
It's not as sweet as Moscato.
And it's not quite as bubbly. Although maybe it got some of the bubbles out already. I don't know.
It's not carbonated, but it's...
No. It's
like,
still pretty good, though. It's still pretty good.
There's no bite to it. It's like really sweet and nice.
No, it's pretty smooth. It's just a little bit of a bite, though. Like, just enough that you're like, okay, yeah, that's still wine, though.
Yeah. It's like, you're not drinking... This isn't for children. Definitely not. So my life, lately, things happening.
Hit us with it.
Honestly, dude, just out here being a Shetty boy.
What exactly does being a Shetty boy entail?
So the life,
you gardening out there?
The life of a Shetty boy entails many things.
You got your hose
I got my
out there? Yeah? Just really breaking the dirt, planting your seed, or what?
We said the same thing last episode. Yeah.
That was in the tarot card reading, right?
Yeah, I think
we were doing that. I'm accurate.
Yeah, man.
What can I say?
Basically, you nailed it.
Has there been anything else from that reading that's come to fruition? Maybe it's yet to see.
Yeah.
It's happening slowly.
I think so.
People come back to me. See, this is the interesting thing. People come back to me months later, and they'll be like, that thing you told me in that reading, that one time, it happened. And I'm like, I knew it would. And then in the back of my mind, I'm like, I do so many readings for people. I have no idea what I said. I don't know what the reading was about.
Honestly, I'm like,
I don't know what I told you.
Go rewatch it.
And it'll be like 6 months later they come to me, right? Like the reading will have been in like September, and they'll come to me like February, and they're just like, hey.
I had an epiphany.
It happened.
Well, I'm lucky enough to have mine on video. I can go back.
I know. Most people don't. I've had a few people record, but honestly, most people don't. And I feel like it's so much information that I give, like especially in something like a palm reading. Like, how would you remember, you know?
Right. No, I remember the first one I ever got from our other friend who does tarot cards.
Yeah.
It was pretty profound.
It usually is.
Because I got like,
if it's a good reading,
out. I was like, oh, wow.
I think it's something that you're going to remember, that you're going to hold on to for a long time.
I didn't go into it doubting it or anything, but...
I have some people that do. I have some people that come into a reading, and they're already like, I'm not telling you my question. You should know what it is. And this is always what I say. Okay, so would you go to a doctor and tell them, I'm in pain, but not tell them where it's at, figure it out? You're the doctor. I mean, yeah, I guess you could do that. Maybe the doctor would figure it out. Right? But, like, you're paying them money, so you might as well just tell them where the pain's at, because then they can actually help you. They can actually fix it. They're not wasting their whole session trying to just find it.
That's kind of how life works, isn't it? I mean...
Because I can give you as accurate of a reading as you're willing to tell me. And that's okay. You don't want to tell me, and it's all just about, like, prove it to me. That's fine. But the whole reading is going to be...
You got to be honest.
Vague, and then people are going to be like, well, it was really vague. And I'm like, well, because you didn't give me a lot of information. I could still get some good details, right? But the more I know, the more I can give you. And I think the other thing that surprises me is people come to me and they'll want a reading, right? Throw their hands in my face. Like, I had someone today. I was getting a COVID test.
When am I going to get married?
Getting a COVID test to go on set. I had someone throw their hand in my face when they found out I'm a palmist. Right? And I always fuck with them. And I just, like, I point at the lifeline and I'm like, oh my God. And they're like, what? And I'm like, I shouldn't tell you. And they're like, what is it? And I'm like, you only have 3 days to live. Right? Like, like, what else am I going to say?
Oh, that'd be great.
Right? And then people want a free reading, basically. And I'm like, well, do you go to a doctor or a lawyer and tell them you want their services for free? I guess you could. You're probably not going to get any free services. Like, I'm not doing anything pro bono, is what I'm saying.
You find out if somebody's a dentist, you should walk up to him and be like, hey, doc.
You know what? I wonder if people do, though. I have this, like, weird toothache going on. You need to look like... I don't know, though. I personally wouldn't. I just feel like that's rude.
Yeah, no, yeah. We're built different. We're nice.
I want to give you your surprise early this episode. Normally I know we wait, but I think...
Eris has a surprise for me today.
I think it'll decorate the set a little bit for our visual.
Oh, okay, interesting. So I was trying to bring some... Oh!
Now you understand. So he wanted to bring flowers in. For those of you
what a
who don't know, this is our Valentine's Day special. And he wanted to bring in flowers. And I told him, no, leave the flowers off. And he was so curious. Couldn't figure it out, though. He's like, what's it going to be? Why is he telling me not to bring flowers in?
I thought you had a flamethrower.
Because that is the logical assumption.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone just assumes.
This is the Garden Shed podcast.
Okay? Eris spare no expense. Flowers on set must be a flamethrower. That's where my mind went.
Yeah, no live vegetation because there's going to be some kind of...
Sure. Yep. I'll let you know when I get a flamethrower.
Please do.
There you go.
I'd hope you would.
Just decorate our set a little bit.
All right.
Oh, we're going to go flamenco dance now?
Yeah, we are. I have a surprise for Valentine's Day for Eris, too. He already knows.
Let's see. A nice, cute little Polaroid camera.
We have a Polaroid camera. And
how old-fashioned.
I was going to have you take a nude of me so that you could keep it.
Oh, good. We might want to wait till the camera's not rolling then. We're going to do that.
We can save that for ourselves, too.
That's fair. That's fair. Maybe that's like the premium content, like for the Patreon subscribers. Subscribe, right? If you guys haven't watched the Prime video, please watch it.
We got our first vlog out on the channel.
Please watch it because at the end I definitely make a sex tape joke, so you guys should definitely check it out.
We're gonna keep teasing the sex tapes, and then the only way to find out if it exists or not,
you gotta go on Patreon. We're gonna have some merch coming out soon. We talked about that last time. Some merch coming soon, and we're gonna start doing some special videos and content.
Yeah, we will have very specific members-only Patreon content. We'll get when we can, okay?
We're gonna get there. When we have our whole production team going, and it's not our ghost production team.
The production team is running on minimal hours of sleep.
Our unpaid interns.
The interns have circles under their eyes. Poor kids.
Yeah, I know. I think we're breaking some child labor laws on that.
X-ray on the Oslate. All right. So anyway, what are we talking about first today, Eris?
Well, we were going to talk about what's coming up this Sunday. Is it your birthday? It's the Super Bowl. It is his birthday too, though. We have a birthday party coming up, but...
It's my birthday.
Birthday Super Bowl party.
Super birthday, that's what I'm calling it.
Super birthday bowl.
Super birthday bowl is what I'm going to be smoking.
Well, tobacco, because we don't do anything besides that.
Yeah, lavender and herbs.
Stuff we grow out there in front of the shed.
Medicine.
Nothing illegal, of course.
Yeah, so Sunday is going to be awesome.
Break down what's happening with the Super Bowl. I know the Bengals are playing, and Tell me the other team. I really don't follow football.
You need a little Super Bowl rundown.
So I need the Super Bowl rundown. I'm sure there's some other listeners out there who also have no idea what happens at the Super Bowl. I know there's a bowl, and it's super... I don't know if we're putting chips in it, though.
This is the World Championship for American football. Now, why they call
football like the one you kick?
You throw it and kick it.
You throw it and kick it. Okay. Gotcha.
Don't get smart with me, Zapper.
Sports ball. I love sports ball. It's my favorite.
You were sports and hard out there, guys. Okay. So in this Super Bowl, it's going to be the Cincinnati Bengals.
I like their helmets. That's the only reason I remember them.
Did the Bengals actually have a really sick uniform? They're going to be like all black, and then they have the sick helmets.
Oh, that's cool.
And then we have the Los Angeles Rams.
Okay, L.A.
That team is fairly new to L.A. They came from St. Louis.
Okay.
But back in like the 80s, they were in L.A.
Okay.
So anyway.
Well, and I know your team is the Raiders, who obviously used to be from the Bay Area, recently moved to Nevada.
Used to be the Oakland Raiders, now they're the Las Vegas Raiders. They made it to one playoff game, but didn't do much else after that.
It's okay. I got to watch it with you, though. That
was
fun.
We had a good time.
It was one of the few times I ever actually enjoyed watching a football game. I think it was the company, but honestly...
Because I was like stoked and passionate about it.
I was definitely trying to work on stuff in the garden shed, and he kept like
you stand up, it's like third down and 2, and you're like, all right, let's go work on this. I'm like, dude, wait, we got to see this play.
I know. Okay, so the Super Bowl, though... So what do you think?
Great matchup, dude. Unforeseen. I thought it was going to be the Kansas City Chiefs, they were in the Super Bowl the last 2 years. They won it in 2019. They lost it in 2020. Looked like they were going back this year, and then they got upset by the Bengals.
Oh, okay.
The LA Rams were a very good team all year. I didn't really pay attention to them much. They have a really good coach. They have pretty killer offense. A big player on defense, Aaron Donald. Obviously, the whole defense is the best players in the world. But, dude, it's going to be awesome. So,
who are you thinking might take it? Who's going to take
I've been so conflicted all week, and I've really wanted to bet on it. So the favored team to win is the Rams. And the underdog is the Bengals. And at first I was picking the Rams, but after giving it more thought, I think I want to go Bengals.
Well, I was going to say we could bet against each other, but I want the Bengals to win just because I like their damn uniforms.
Fuck.
That's the only reason I like them, though.
All right, I'll go for LA. I'll go for Cali. That's what I was going to do first.
That's your home.
I was going to go for Cali. I'll go for a Cali team. You know, if it's not the Raiders, then I'll go for like the Niners or the Rams. I don't like the Chargers.
That's fair.
Fuck the Chargers.
That's fair.
But the Rams are cool. Oh, so a cool thing, the Super Bowl is held in a different stadium, a host stadium every year.
Yeah, I was aware of that.
Some city gets picked for it, and it's like a big deal.
And it doesn't even have to be like one of the teams that's playing.
No, yeah, exactly. And whatever city, like they're gonna make a ton of money off it.
This one though, I know there's gonna be a big halftime show.
Oh, yeah.
A bunch of big names coming on. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. Well, first I was gonna say like, it's a rare coincidence when a team whose city is hosting the Super Bowl gets to make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then if you win, you're like, you get the major like bragging rights, like we fucking won the Super Bowl in our city.
Yeah.
So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did that last year. So that was pretty cool. And now the Rams have an opportunity to do that.
I suppose though it's kind of bigger bragging rights if the other team were to win at your own home stadium, though.
Either way, I won the fucking Super Bowl and you lost. You can suck it.
Yeah.
Everybody's watching. You lost. But the halftime show, oh my god, dude, that's basically the highlight of my birthday party. I'm like, when it's halftime, I'm like, all right, everybody, let's fucking watch this.
Who's gonna be performing?
Snoop Dogg, Snoop Dogg.
You got Snoop Dogg on
Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre.
Eminem. Mary J. Blige.
I saw Eminem. I was really excited for that. Not to be a white boy, but I fuck with Eminem.
Dude, I can't even remember who else. But like it's.
I was watching.
All like that. I was watching hip hop West Coast.
I was watching an interview with some of them, and they were talking about going to perform, and the person interviewing was asking basically, what is like your gold standard for a halftime show? Oh. And they mentioned Prince, and they mentioned Michael Jackson.
Who did, like Snoop?
I don't remember who it was. I think it was Snoop. It might have been
Dre?
Dr. Dre though. It wasn't Eminem though. He wasn't on there.
Mm.
I was just walking through the house and my parents had
Prince?
it on.
I think I've seen that on YouTube.
And I think that was really great to hear. I'm like thinking back to these.
Michael Jackson has a legendary one.
Yeah.
I think Beyonce, Mariah Carey.
Dude, Beyonce, Mariah Carey's was pretty good.
If you're performing at the halftime show, like it's like
I've never seen the Michael Jackson.
It goes on your resume. You know what I mean? It's like a big show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Maroon 5, I think, had a cool one.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember. Man. Everybody's done it.
You know, in a way, that makes me think back to when I was a music major taking music theory and music history. We talked about kind of like what would be the equivalent back then would have been performing for the coronation of like the Pope or like a king or something like that.
Oh, sure.
So one of my favorite stories comes from Beethoven. And now Beethoven knew he was like a rock star. He was like a rock star of his day, which is interesting. If you think back to like Bach, awesome. Bach died nameless and unknown. No one actually knew who he was.
Right.
And he was poor.
Wow.
People didn't figure out, like, man, this guy's a genius until years later. Beethoven knew that he was famous. And
Can you imagine if the garden shed blows up when we're dead?
For those of you watching 300 years in the future. No,
Make sure my family's taken care of. All right, go ahead.
He got invited to do a performance. Beethoven got invited to do a performance at like a duke or some noble person's home.
Yeah.
Well, he got invited actually for dinner. And then at dinner, he asked him to go play a song on the piano. And he's like, I'm good. And the guy's like, oh, I'm not like asking you, I'm telling you. Like, I'm a duke or whatever. Like,
oh, okay.
Go perform. And then Beethoven literally responds with, I'm Beethoven. You don't tell me what to do. No one's going to know who you are in 200 years. But in 200 years, kids are going to walk down the street and they're going to know my name. They're going to know who Beethoven is. And I don't even know the name of the guy. The Duke or whatever. I don't even know his title.
It's Duke so-and-so.
I don't know. But
everybody knows the name Beethoven.
So Beethoven, he's at the equivalent of like something like a Super Bowl, right? He's in France, in Paris, France, when Napoleon is being coronated.
Wow.
Having the big ceremony, right? He's becoming, I mean, eventually he kind of becomes like an emperor, but he's becoming the king. He's being crowned at his coronation. And he's being crowned by, I want to say it was like a bishop or something, like a bishop of France, or like an archbishop or something like that. And instead of letting this bishop, or it might have even been the Pope, I just don't think it was the Pope, I think it was like an archbishop or something, putting the crown on. He takes the crown from him and puts it on his head. And what that indicates is that he's saying, not even God is above me. Like, I'm at the level of the Pope. Like, I'm at the level of almost being a god myself. He was deifying himself in a sense by taking the crown, and he's like, no. God's not putting the crown on my head. I put the crown on my head. And Beethoven was a really super religious man. So he was so mad that he actually had his pen with him. And he scratched through the name, because he actually named the song Napoleon that he wrote for his coronation. And he scratched through it. We still have the document. He literally scraped his name out.
Like, what did he rename it?
He didn't rename it anything. He just blacked out the name. He was so mad at him for taking the crown and putting it on his own head that he scraped his own name out.
Still have it.
Right?
You still have that paper?
Yeah. But think of that. That is the time.
Love a good rebel story.
That'd be the equivalent of like playing the Super Bowl though. Like you're playing for like a king's coronation. You know?
Bigger than the Super Bowl. That's
a pretty big deal.
Something that's actually important.
Something you can put on your
bigger
resume.
than sports.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, singing at the presidential inauguration or something. That's like a huge deal, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I feel like I would be terrified to go do that, like singing the national anthem or.
I would actually die.
Something like that.
I would have a heart attack from the anxiety, and I'd die.
Yes. So, we have a reaction video that we were gonna do. We're gonna look at a song that's trending right now.
Time to review a music video that's pretty fucking dope.
I showed this to Jay. He was not familiar with this band, or maybe he is. He's not quite even sure.
A little bit.
So, the name of the band is Falling in Reverse. For all of our metal fans. Can you go ahead and get the video started for us?
In reverse.
So the song is, if we were to simplify it, it's basically talking about cancel culture within America. It's pretty much looking at how you can't really say anything now because they're just going to try to cancel you. And on top of that, the singer of the band, the front man himself, has a little bit of a history of having a lot of people kind of hate on him. So we'll go ahead and watch the video, and we'll get a little bit of your cinematography on this and what you're thinking. For those of you who are interested, go ahead and look up the song. The song is called Zombified by Falling in Reverse.
20 seconds in, we got zombie action. Very impressive. Zombified. That was sick right there. How
so there's a transition into the building, basically is what's happening. And now we're seeing the band, and there's a figure walking through the street. So we know there's a bunch of zombies outside. That mic looks custom. You were saying that before when we watched it. Like he has this
Oh, that's my favorite thing about the video is
cubed-looking mic.
The custom mic. It's just like an encasing over the
and
mic.
that's interesting too. I didn't notice that before. They have an Uncle Sam saying, I want you kind of thing, right? So in a way, I feel like it's sort of... And then there's a censored over his eyes.
He just bleeped out.
I feel like it's sort of indicating about what's going on in America. Some of the censoring that's going on.
They were all just...
And now you have these zombies, which is kind of, I think, just the average person.
Wow.
They're staring into these TV screens. They're being hypnotized, and that's one of the lines in the song.
Very easy to get hypnotized by just media.
I'm going to go ahead and pull out...
Not just news media.
The lyrics.
Netflix.
Hit some highlights on here. So let's see. It talks about... We've become the Walking Dead. They won't stop until you're zombified. They're canceling you over something you said 10 years ago.
Facts.
They're pumping us with lies like it's formaldehyde.
Preach.
Right, and that rhymes. That's interesting with zombified and formaldehyde, but that's obviously like a reference to death. That's really interesting. We're dead inside. It goes on and on. Let this go. When it stops, we will never know. We're hypnotized, just like on those screens, right? Because then the next part, it goes to...
By the way, for our audio listeners, we're going to put the music video on screen.
If you're interested to watch it, it's a really good piece of cinematography. They've definitely had a pretty good budget going into this.
Yeah, go check it out on YouTube. It's a really awesome video.
So I like this part right here. It says you better shut your mouth and bite your tongue because you don't want to piss off anyone. We're traumatized by the damage done. And then you have the whole band sing together in unison, "Welcome to America." Right? Very interesting. And then they keep ending these sections of the verse with, because everybody's talking, right? It's kind of gossipy, right? It's almost like talking about like the cancel culture within America is a little bit gossipy.
Okay, now there's aliens.
The aliens threw me when I watched
even the main character. He goes, "What the fuck?"
You go from like, okay, there's zombies.
There was an alien abduction by a light beam,
and it doesn't quite make sense. There's a lot going on.
I think it does, but I just haven't connected the dots yet.
The zombies are being pulled up by the aliens right now.
That was pretty awesome. Like your typical alien abduction by a light beam.
Yeah, no, it's
but
very interesting.
They didn't get those guys. They're still in the car.
Yeah. They're driving away. Yeah, you got the band, but then you also have like the band in the car. So
they made it out.
They're like, in a way, that was like a dinosaur monster Godzilla looking thing.
It's one thing after another in this video.
It's not just zombies.
Maybe that could be part of it. You notice there wasn't any of the hurdles going on at the same time. It was either zombies,
and then it was like the aliens
or the monster. They weren't all at the same time.
Definitely. So I want to take a second also to talk about
how life is, man.
What he talks about in the video.
That's how America is. If it's not a fucking zombie, it's a monster. If it's not a monster,
so
you're just fucked.
One of the lines in the song, that he repeats a couple times right before the chorus, is, "They'll never let go of what you said 10 years ago." And what's interesting to me...
Now that everything is recorded and online and on your social media.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Well, and there's also the conversation that's been going on recently. Like, what if someone makes a comment, like a comedian, for example, and it's something which maybe is a little taboo or maybe a little
Happens
discriminatory or some
like
kind of
every day
joke,
now. Yeah.
right? And it's like, oh well, like, do we still look back on that? I always think of the O.J. Simpson trial. They got one of the lead detectives removed off of that case because he had used the N word like one time in like 10 years ago. And I was like, what?
Bro.
You're throwing out this detective's entire statement and all of his findings because he said that. I mean, don't say that. That's not a good thing to say. But I don't think that that's a legitimate point to make in a courtroom as to why what he's saying is not valid. How are you going to remove the validity of this detective on a case that we all know he murdered her?
Everybody knows.
Like,
Like,
come on. The fact that he got out of that, blows my mind. So, in relation to that, though, the singer of the band, Ronnie Radke, was involved in a murder. I told you that
Is
he
that why
went to
he went
jail,
to?
but I didn't tell you why. So, let me explain the story for those of you who don't know. He was the singer of Escape the Fate, a band which started, I want to say, around like 2004. He joined sometime around then. Now, in 2008, I believe it was, he got into a fight with this guy, and this guy brought some of his friends. Ronnie brought a couple of his friends. It was kind of, the numbers vary, 4 to 6
It's like the
people.
fight scene from Anchorman.
Sure, Jay.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Just say yes. It's just
Yes.
like that.
um, Now, one of Ronnie's friends brought a gun, though, and shot the brother of the guy that he was fighting and
Don't
killed
fuck
him.
around, bro.
Now, what's interesting is this guy actually admitted to the murder, but they found that he was acting in self-defense and he didn't face any time. However, the two guys that were leading the fight, they determined that they were at fault. I want to say for like involuntary manslaughter or something like that. Like, it wasn't even like they were being charged with murder. It was like battery. I don't know. It was something though.
It's guilty by association, kind of.
Essentially, because they were the ones that led to the fight, which led to the murder or killing, since they decided to not call it a murder.
Assisting in such and such.
Yeah. So the other guy actually committed suicide before he went to trial. It was his brother again who died. Now,
Wow.
Ronnie, though, went to trial and he got a bail of just under $100,000. He gets out, and I think it's like a 2-year, 2.5 year probation that he's on.
Dumb.
And he messes up his probation. I think he like misses a court date or
Dumbass.
maybe drugs or something. I don't know. Whatever it was, he ends up having to go to prison.
I'm just kidding.
Escape the Fate is like, well, we're not going to wait forever for you to get out of prison.
You can't.
Yeah, I mean, right?
You got to make money.
They're a big name band by this point.
Yeah.
They released
probably had
a
to go on
couple
tour.
hit songs, so they don't have time to wait. They fire him, and he's mad about that, so he starts up the new band.
You're fired.
Falling in Reverse. Really great band. Honestly, it's had some really great songs. If you guys are interested, I would highly recommend Popular Monster. I think one of his better songs. Now, this song, though, I think it's interesting that he refers back to 10 years ago, because 10 years prior would have been right around the time when he was starting Falling in Reverse.
Wait, he started it 10 years ago?
I want to say it was something like that around like 2012. It could have been a little bit earlier.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, when he started the band, the thing is, too, he actually was really mad at Escape the Fate and made it very publicly known that he was mad at them.
Oh, wow.
And then he had
So
some
they had
other
beef?
charges. He had some other charges thrown at him after he got out of prison and everything. He had a domestic violence case. He also got in trouble at a concert because he was throwing mic stands into the audience and injured 2 people. Now, he did say that was an accident and he apologized, but the band actually got...
an accident.
Yeah. They got banned. The band got banned from playing at Six Flags, I think it was. They can't play at Six Flags anymore.
Of all places? Like what?
And then there was an accusation of sexual assault or rape or something like that. Although I think he got exonerated of that one. But my point is, there just keeps being things that happen, right? And in a way, I'm almost feeling that the song is kind of indicating, and I could be wrong, I don't personally know, but it feels like it's indicating in relation to that. People are mad at him because of what happened 10 years ago, or just a little past 10 years ago. And maybe they're still holding on to that.
Sure.
But in a way, I'm like, it's not like he exactly changed right after that, right? We still see this trend of like doing things that maybe aren't the best.
Right.
So
Right.
maybe in the past 5 years, he's become a much better person. But I feel like to link it back to 10 years ago, and for context, he was 22.
It's just kind of unfair and irrelevant.
He was 22 at the time of the murder. So he was younger than us.
22? Dude, I had my head so far up my ass when I was 22.
So I think that's the thing,
about?
too. You're right. He was in his early and mid-20s when a lot of this had happened. There was a lot of growing, I think, that still happened.
So was everybody who ever has a dumb story from 10 years ago. It was when you were like in your early 20s.
But usually it doesn't involve someone getting killed.
Okay, well, that's fair. That's extreme.
And I love the song, so I'm not dissing on the song. However, I think if that's what he's indicating to... Or maybe he's just saying a generic number. Maybe 10 years ago just sounded good as a lyric. I don't know, but if it's indicating to that, like, I don't think that you get to move away from that. I think in a way that stays with you.
Yeah. I think there's some things that really you deserve to have follow you. Like, you have to take accountability, but at the same time...
Maybe it's not fair to have people still mad at you about
whoever people are, like, the average consumer holds celebrities and creators to kind of an unrealistic high standard. Because at the end of the day, they're just a guy, like, or a gal, or like you and me, and it's like they're gonna fuck up. They're gonna do
but at the same
terrible
time,
things, just like you or I might. Because
people want to be there. Not everyone. I'm not saying everyone, but a lot of people want to be there. And I'm like, so at the same time...
That's like how we talked about with Machine Gun Kelly. If you had that much money, that much fame, how could you do anything stupid?
That I think
I could do all the stupid things I ever wanted to now that I have all this money.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and maybe it's just like a boredom too. Maybe they think they just can.
And there's a bit of entitlement. I think they can get away with anything, and it's like these people go to venues and bars and clubs and wherever, and they're like, I'm the shit. I'm a fucking A-list celebrity. What do you mean I can't do that?
Don't you know who I am?
Don't you know who I am?
Yeah, exactly. Like Val Kilmer. I hear about him up in Santa Fe all the time. Right?
No way.
About an hour up from Albuquerque,
what do you do?
For those of you who don't know. So Val Kilmer's like a B-list actor now. Let's just be honest.
Hey.
He was an A-list.
Do you know that he's has like fucking, what is it? Parkinson's or something? Or
but that's not...
He's had terrible...
I'm talking about for a while now. No, I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about for like the last 10 years.
Was he an asshole?
Pretty much. He would go to restaurants in Santa Fe, and then when they would give him...
my mom's not gonna like this.
When they would give him his bill, he would be like, I'm Val Kilmer. I'm not paying that. Like, it's an honor for you to serve me. So,
bro, what?
Servers, this is where I heard about it from. Servers in Santa Fe know who he is, and they literally are like,
people you actually met.
Don't make me go take his order. Like, it's your turn. Like, I took him last time.
Like, I can't deal with this man telling me he's not going to pay.
He's not going to tip me. He's not going to pay for the meal. Right? Wow. They don't want to deal with that.
Okay. Right. So you have first-hand account. Not first-hand, but you know somebody.
It's more like second-hand account.
That's crazy.
But yeah.
Second-hand account of him being a dick and not wanting to
pay. Essentially.
Dude, the appropriate thing to do is, like, over tip, you know what I mean?
I always think of someone like Adam Sandler, dude. He just like dresses so like nonchalant. I don't think he wants to be. He doesn't want to be recognized, right?
He's the shit.
It's like how Zendaya's been like a meme recently, and everyone's kind of making fun of her for how she dresses. But I'm like, that's how you don't get recognized.
She dresses comfy, and okay, Zendaya wears fire ass outfits, regardless of whether. Don't even.
I saw today, there's a thing going around about some drink she has at Starbucks and how she has really good taste. So maybe maybe we gotta review that.
We gotta go get the Zendaya drink?
We gotta go try it out.
Dude, I stan Zendaya so hard right now.
She's actually like a pretty good actress. I didn't know from Disney, right?
How mega huge she is in 2021?
Yeah.
She did Spider-Man. She has the new season of Euphoria. She was in Dune.
I haven't seen Euphoria yet. I need to see it. But Dune was so good.
She was in Dune.
Spider-Man
not as much. She's in something else big. I can't fucking remember. She at least has
like from last year.
No, and 2021, I think she had 4 or 5 like big film projects, which is really that's impressive.
Yeah. I think back to that movie that she did, which to me was sort of the first movie of her kind of breaking away from Disney. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Oh, I remember that Disney show. I used to watch it with my little sister. By the way,
it was
Shake
a
It
dance,
Up.
Shake It Up. It was like a dance thing,
Bum,
yeah.
bum, 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 shake it
But you
up.
didn't know she was a good actress from that, right?
I was terrible. It was so bad.
It was pretty corny.
Like my little sister watched it, and I sat there on my phone. You know?
Right. I know.
I don't remember her breakout thing to get out of Disney.
I don't know if it was her breakout, but it was that movie she did.
It was Spider-Man, no?
No. She did a movie before that. There was God, it was like something related to like a circus or something. You know what I'm talking about?
With Hugh Jackman?
Yeah, with Hugh Jackman. Yeah. And Hugh Jackman got to be like super musical theater.
Yeah.
Because he's a musical theater actor. I love that man.
Should we just
I love that man.
keep guessing, or should we look it up?
Yeah. For anyone who knows, put it down in the comments.
I think it's more fun for us to just look at each other with a dumb look.
I know.
Like, what is it?
I don't know. There's someone out there that's listening right now. Like, you guys are idiots.
They're like, oh my god, I love that movie.
That's my favorite movie. How do you not remember the name of it?
It has the circus and
we'll have to go back and
Wolverine.
rewatch it. I'll have to go back and rewatch it, and then we'll do a review on it.
Yeah.
That'll be our apology for not remembering the name.
Oh, what else were we gonna watch? Oh, Euphoria.
Euphoria.
We have to at least watch a couple episodes.
I haven't seen it.
The pilot episode, season 1, is killer. It's like an hour long, and it's like, whoa. After that pilot episode, like, you know what you're getting yourself into for that show.
Yeah.
It's going to be heavy. It's brutally honest. Things that other shows don't want to show.
Oh, okay.
It is
okay.
brutally honest and just out there, man. Some crazy life scenarios.
Have you watched any of the Marvel TV shows? Like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, anything like that?
Oh, yeah. I've seen a few Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. But
what
those
are
are like
thoughts?
those canon MCU?
They are actually. You saw the newest Spider-Man movie?
Because I was watching.
He was in it. Daredevil was in it. Right, he's the lawyer, and he catches the brick. Catches the brick from behind.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. That's Daredevil.
Yeah, I know. Fuck, that's dope. I forgot about that.
And you even see like indications that they're kind of hinting at the Avengers, the first
Luke
Avengers
Cage
movie,
was good.
Battle of New York.
Yeah.
So it's all canon, yeah.
Okay, I was thinking about the newer ones, like the Loki series. Have you seen that?
I think that's also canon.
But this is after, like Thanos.
Yeah. No, and I did see it. Because he's at the...
Oh, no, this is like right before that.
The first episode, he's like at the Time Commission something. They're mad at him because he did something illegal.
What's it called? The AVP, whatever. The organization that controls like...
events.
Time and reality. And
Yeah.
I love that idea. Have you seen The Umbrella Academy?
I haven't. I've seen trailers for it, but I haven't seen it.
The Dark Horse comic originally.
What's that about?
A group so it's like I don't know why these kids were born, what caused them to have abilities, but on some random day a bunch of kids were born at the exact same time and they all have an ability, right? Like a superpower.
One day.
And then they were like world famous like a woman
kids have superpowers.
A woman who was not barren with child was all of a sudden...
Oh, she didn't have that garden shed seed.
She did not have that J garden shed seed.
Oh, whoa, no.
Oh, no, she did, and my kid was a superhero.
Okay, that explains it. Now it makes sense.
Oh, God, okay. Anyway.
Like the super-powered spider goat that's coming out in my coffee podcast soon. To be released here in the next week or so.
Wow, that was very intriguing. We got to tune into that.
I know. What's this goat? What's happening with this goat? How does it relate to coffee? I don't know.
Goat like Tom Brady?
What? Who are we talking about? You'll have to watch it to find out more.
Okay. So there's these kids born at the same time to a virgin, not a virgin, but like a woman who's not pregnant.
Okay.
And all of a sudden she's just like, oh, I'm in labor. I'm pregnant. And like all these.
Do we know that she wasn't pregnant, or was it one of those she didn't know?
No, yeah, that's like the headline. That's the headline news.
Because that happens. There was a TV show about that. I remember watching a couple episodes, and it was like I didn't know I was pregnant, and they'd be like, "I'm just going to take a shit," and the next thing they know, they're popping out a baby. Dude, I'm like, what?
That just happened. I don't know where in the country, but a week or two ago, a woman claimed that she did not know she was pregnant, had a baby, and she threw the baby in the dumpster, and she got caught on footage.
Oh, you know what? I heard about the baby in the dumpster.
Now
I saw a video of that. I didn't know she was pregnant.
That's what the mom said, but come on.
But that still doesn't explain why you dumped the baby.
8 or 9 months in.
Oh, it was that far in too.
No, you birthed the baby, like.
Well, yeah, obviously, yeah.
And it was still alive, so.
Well, see, that's the thing. Even if you didn't,
you're going straight to hell.
Even if you didn't know you were pregnant, okay, let's just say that's true. You still had the baby, so you could be like, you know what? I can't take care of this child and give it up for adoption. That's an option. It's not
Obviously,
great, but that's better than a dumpster.
Wow, I know, dude. That's so. It makes me sick.
Yeah.
How could you put a baby in it? Anyway.
Well, did the baby die?
No, I think they
were able to save it?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
It was there for 5 hours or something.
She should still get charged with murder, like attempted murder.
Absolutely.
But at least the baby didn't die. That's good.
Yeah. It's a crazy story.
Okay.
Umbrella
Academy.
Umbrella Academy. The kids all have powers born to random women around the world.
Oh, it's different women.
Yeah.
That all have a kid at the same time.
Yeah, it was like Russia, America, wherever. Just like all these women suddenly all at the same time just had a baby. And it was like world news, like, oh, these random kids were born to a woman. And then billionaires, or one billionaire in specific, went around the world asking these women, look, I'll give you a bunch of money to let me adopt this kid from you, because he had a feeling or he had research or whatever, and he thought these kids would be special based on the fact that they just...
So he forms this Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, he's a rich billionaire guy with a mansion. He's got all these orphan kids.
Is there any that he wasn't able to adopt, though?
Yeah, there's more. He has like 11 or... I don't know, maybe... He has a good handful, like 10 of them.
Like a dozen.
There's more that he didn't get. And they're not even... They haven't come into the story yet. So that's exciting. But the ones that he did get are like home runs, dude. They're such great characters.
Really?
Yeah, they're great.
So what kind of powers are we talking?
Psychic ability, like talking to ghosts, controlling like energy, telekinesis kind of stuff. One kid could turn into like a gigantic octopus or something.
Like shapeshift into an octopus?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Trying to think of the other kids. Oh, one guy was like super big and strong. Another girl could...
I really want
convince you
to make a parody.
Make you do whatever she wanted.
Strong superhero thing. And have it be the most like tiny, scrawny ass kid. Right? Like, because it's always like, I'm super strong, and they're like fucking yoked.
Yeah.
Right? No, I want it to be like the small ass little kid. Kind of like Jessica Jones, right? Like, because she's super strong. But like she's even smaller. Like smaller than that. Like a kid, petite, like really scrawny.
Yeah.
And like, right, you got these kids making fun of him, and he just fucking chucks him across the street.
That'd be cool.
Like, what?
That's why, dude, do you have a favorite superhero? Go.
Oh, okay. When I was a kid, it was Superman. I love Superman. And I know everyone shits on him.
It wasn't my favorite, but...
I grew to really like Batman, but in more recent times, I kind of lean towards either Batman, Spider-Man, if we're thinking Marvel, or Flash.
Flash? So you're more of a DC guy?
I'm definitely more of a DC guy.
Okay.
I grew up with Justice League and Justice League Unlimited and all that, and I had more of the comic books from that.
For sure. I remember all that.
You more Marvel, though?
I liked Marvel more because...
What'd you think of Green Hornet? Real quick, sidetrack. Did you like the Green Hornet movie? Did you like the original Green Hornet?
I loved it.
Did you ever read any of the comics?
I loved it.
I never got super
No, I didn't read the comics, but the Green Hornet was awesome.
So you got the joke in the new movie, right? Where they're like doing that fight scene, and he's like, I'm too fast for the camera, they can't see me, right? And he's like, no, like you just like whatever, right? He passes it off. That's a reference to the original movie. The guy who played him, God, who was it? Bruce Lee? Jet Li? I think. Am I wrong? I think it was like one of those guys. It could have been someone else. I'm terrible at remembering names. I know I'm an actor. But
in the original?
Yes. Do you remember? It's not important, though. Whoever it was, he was so fast that he actually was too fast for the cameras. Because we're talking years ago, right? Like, we didn't have the modern frames per second that we have today. And he moved so fast that the cameras actually couldn't pick him up. So that's what the joke was. The joke was that he was moving so fast that the modern cameras couldn't pick him up because of the cameras at the time couldn't pick up the actor in the original.
Right. That's funny.
Right?
That's way funny.
So I always liked DC. Let me just explain. Because I really like just how like larger than life the characters are. And I know some people like Marvel better because they feel like it's a little more down to earth. Like the names of the cities are generally like cities that we have. And right, DC it's like Metropolis and Gotham and Star City and all that
but
stuff.
I actually like that. I love Gotham. The Metropolis. Like that's awesome.
I know like one of my best friends growing up, he preferred Marvel because he felt it was more realistic. But you have to think of the context of the time. Marvel was created, don't quote me on this, I want to say like the 60s, whereas DC was created in the middle of World War II. Superman was one of their first superheroes. He might have been the first. I don't think he was the first. One of the first. And the original comic books of Superman was Superman fighting Nazis. It was the context of the time.
I think Spider-Man came out in the 50s.
Did it?
Late 50s.
But it was post World War II. And I think that's part of the context. I think they made DC partially with these larger than life characters to be like, I know the world seems dark right now, but there is this light. There's these superheroes that are there to protect us.
A protagonist.
Yeah.
To gain inspiration from. So who's your favorite?
The other thing, who's my favorite superhero?
Yes.
Well, I really can't decide. If it's Marvel, it's Spider-Man for sure. If it's DC, I'll just go with Batman, but I also love Flash. I do absolutely love Flash.
Why Flash?
Specifically Barry Allen.
How does the...
not Barry Allen, I'm sorry. Wally West. Barry Allen's great. He's from the TV show.
Yeah.
But I love Wally West. I think Wally West is honestly the best. He's the Kid Flash for a while, but he becomes the Flash. And I think he's funny. He's witty. He's the fastest man alive, obviously. He's quicker than Quicksilver.
How does the Flash compare with Batman?
With Batman?
Obviously, he has like a superpower.
Well,
Batman...
I would say Batman... So it depends on which Flash you're talking about. But let's just say Flash in a general sense, right? Because Barry Allen was like a forensic scientist. So pretty smart guy, right? And if we're looking at some of the other Flashes, they're also fairly educated, pretty smart. Some of them are from farther in the future, so probably more education. Batman is smart, though. Like, that man is, like, on point.
Yes.
He's the detective, right? It was the detective comic books back at the time. So I think if we're thinking intelligence, I think Batman would be smarter. Which is, I think, why some people think that Batman...
Tactical.
I think that's why some people think Batman, if he has time, could defeat anyone.
Oh, yeah.
I think if it's like in a moment, Flash is going to kick his ass. He's so fast. But I think if Batman has time, like he knows that there's going to be a fight. Like with him or with Superman, like I think he'd have time to prep. That's why I think Batman is pretty badass, right? Because he's an average dude. And he always gets like shit on by people in his own universe, right? Gotham, half the people love him, half the people hate him. And I noticed that's a trend with these vigilantes, right? Because Daredevil, I've been watching a lot of Daredevil lately. He's a billionaire
too. Probably people want to eat him.
That's true. I've been watching a lot of Daredevil, and a lot of people hate Daredevil, right? Initially in the first season, they think that he's responsible for a lot of these crimes that are going on. For those of you who haven't watched it, not trying to give you spoilers, but this guy in the first season is Wilson Fisk, and he's trying to better the city, but he's actually doing it in a really criminalized way. He's sort of like the big baddie of the criminals.
Oh.
So he goes up against Daredevil, who at the time is the devil of Hell's Kitchen. Wait, he doesn't get the name Daredevil until later on. But people hate on him. They assume that these cop killings are him. They assume that these Russians being killed and some of these other things, they just pin everything on him. Like, oh, it's just all him. Now it's actually Wilson Fisk that's framing him.
Oh.
But people buy it, right?
Yeah.
And it's like Batman, right? If you're thinking like how everyone is like the cops are going after him at certain points.
Spider-Man gets framed.
True.
I think Superman gets framed a couple times.
And Superman's such an interesting one, right? Because people are always like, well, you're so powerful, you could just like destroy the entire planet. We couldn't even stop you. And he's kind of like, yeah, I could, but I don't.
He stabbed me with kryptonite, bro. You do understand what this does?
Right.
It goes from this to this.
Oh my god. But that's just the thing that's interesting with the superheroes versus a lot of the the vigilantes. Is I notice it's more likely for the vigilantes. I can't think of an example personally in which a vigilante isn't being framed or having media or cops or something go after them.
Yo, have
Right?
you seen Watchmen?
I have. It's been a long time though.
I just rewatched it,
Did you?
and it was just as good as I remember. It was so cool.
Give me some ideas about the cinematography. It's been so long since I watched it. Like, was there some good cinematography in that one?
Dude, it's amazing. I remember watching it 2008, 9, so I was like 13.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I rewatched it. Like, I watched it almost over and over because I thought it was so fucking sick.
Yeah.
The cinematography is really...
There's something about superhero
dark,
movies.
a little
like, there's
saturated.
something about the way that movies portray superheroes and villains and just differently.
Well, there's a lot to make that kind of
because it's
feeling.
sort of sci-fi. It's sort of within that sci-fi sort of realm, right?
Right.
But it's more specific. But there's also the choice of like, do you want to make it gritty? Right? Like the Batman movies are just so gritty. But then there's also the superhero movies where it's not. It's really polished. And I think that's a choice.
Yeah. This one is a little more gritty.
Yeah, it is. It is a little more gritty.
Yeah, dude,
and I like that in a superhero movie. I like
the Dark Knight.
I didn't love the Batman versus Superman movie for the story, but I thought visually
I've never even seen that.
It's worth watching. I don't think it's...
Is it Ben Affleck?
Yeah.
I didn't see that one.
It's certainly not the best portrayal of Batman. And honestly, I think the Superman movies prior to it were a little bit better. But I think the actual cinematography, because it's so gritty, and you were just bringing up the Dark Knight trilogy. So good. So good. I think that's, in a way, one of the gold standards for, like, gritty. Because Marvel... I love Marvel movies. Do not get me wrong. I love DC, but Marvel is kicking DC's ass when it comes to movies. But you know what? They're so much more polished in general.
However, you seen the Snyder Cut? Justice League?
Oh, it was so good.
Snyder Cut is awesome.
So long, but so good.
You watch it in two sittings, but it was like way better than the other cut.
And you know that they actually threw out that cut? DC made it non-canon.
That is so...
They uncanonized Justice League.
Who is running DC?
They uncanonized Justice League to make the Snyder Cut version of DC, and then they uncanonized that. So I don't even know if the original DC is canon anymore or not.
Man,
I don't know who's running DC, but oh my god, Marvel, dude, they had like a 20-year plan. They had this whole plan for like how we're gonna get to Avengers and past that, right?
Oh yeah.
And it's insane.
Now they have a new plan.
TV universe and the movie universe and the comics and everything else. And then DC's like, here's the movie and we're going to throw out another one. But we kind of rushed it and
the last few years they've been slacking.
I do like DC's TV shows, but they're not even canon with the movies.
Shows are actually a lot better.
So I have to admit, I think I lean towards the shows in general.
Just the Justice League didn't have the payoff that it needed to, like the Avengers, you know?
No, they needed to work up to it.
Dude, Avengers Infinity War and Endgame are like one of the biggest box office movies ever. But also like...
Well, the new Spider-Man movie...
The fans and the critics love it.
The new Spider-Man movie
so hard to accomplish.
The biggest revenue a movie's made since COVID started.
Oh, yeah. The new Spider-Man was massive.
And I think that's telling. I think that's really telling.
It is.
They built up this fan base. People that don't even like
it's
comic books, don't
casting,
even like these superhero
marketing.
Movies. They go watch it. It's like going to watch Star Wars, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you don't have to be a sci-fi fan to go watch Star Wars. People just go watch Star Wars.
You don't need to know what Star Wars is, but you're going to be like, oh, that's cool.
Right? Yeah.
That's why Disney bought it. That's why they want to turn it into a more easily digestible, kid-friendly.
Exactly. But
we're out in space
even
shooting
before
lasers.
They bought it, it was such a massive universe. So big.
It still is, and they want to play into it. Like, there's going to be more side story. Like an Obi-Wan story.
I really hope that they make a new Spider-Man movie with Andrew Garfield. Because they were talking about making a third movie for him.
You mean me? I've been told dozens and dozens of times that I look like Spider-Man.
Yes.
Andrew Garfield.
So if we took all the bad aspects
Marvel
of Andrew Garfield took out all the good aspects. That's Jay.
Yeah.
Still good looking. Got that jaw. Got that good jawline. But I hope they do, though. I loved Andrew Garfield. But it'd be so interesting to see him now, right? Because in the last movie we just saw him, he wasn't broken, but you could tell he had been.
He was
healed.
bummed.
He came back from losing Gwen, and you could see that. You could see that in the way that he portrayed the role.
He was like, kind of had like older brothery vibes, and was like, I don't know,
right?
I liked it a lot compared to
it's
how he
funny.
was in his own movie.
It's funny because he kind of had the older brother vibe, but then you kind of had Tobey Maguire kind of like the cool uncle.
The cool uncle, yeah. It's like 20 years on everybody.
I know.
Oh, that was so cool.
It was so great seeing them all together.
Oh, we can't talk about it again.
We already talked about
we loved that movie.
If you haven't seen the last episode 3, make sure to tune in on that one and watch it. We give a
Spider-Man No Way Home review.
So good.
Amazing. What do we have left?
We were going to talk about in other news. We have to hit our another news segment.
Which is?
Well, we were going to talk about what's going on in Ukraine. I know we touched on that a little bit last time. Also, for those of you who have not watched our Prime video, it is a bop. Make sure to watch it. We got the newest flavor, grape. We're not the newest flavor, but we hadn't gotten to try this previously. So we will be actually trying this right now on this episode.
First time ever trying the grape Prime. Let's just go for it.
Let's see. Yeah.
I'm so thirsty.
I'm a big fan of grape. I am a big fan.
Yo. It smells like a popsicle.
It tastes like Barney.
Very sweet. It tastes like Barney the dinosaur?
No, the raccoon, yeah. So what's going on in Ukraine? I know I talked about it a little bit last time, but you were tasked with researching this one a little bit. And then I'm going to be talking about what's going on in Canada with that trucker strike here in a second.
Well, in the Ukraine, it's very dicey right now.
Back in old country.
Back in the
we learned skin fish.
motherland.
Cosmonaut in Soviet space program. Comes a new country. Everybody have gun. Everybody.
Vodka.
But no one had good vodka. Anyway, what's going on?
I could do that for hours. We could go off right now. Okay. I don't know, man. Beats me. There's 130,000 Russian troops.
On the border?
And
Ukraine?
Military stuffs and troops.
And at this point,
surrounding
most of
the Ukraine.
Most of the United States and Western Europe's pulled out, right? Of the embassies and everything?
They pulled out, but there's some troops behind in Poland, and then
in Poland.
Ukraine, like NATO and US and whoever, they're like kind of stationed in Poland. Ukraine has their own stuff.
Poland, though.
Well, it's like on that, what was like the northwestern side, they're connected to Europe, so that was like the NATO side, and then Russia was like surrounding them all over that other side.
Yeah.
With like tanks.
I still think that Russia would back off if NATO went in there with the United States. If they line the border, they're not going to attack. They're not going to do it. And what are they going to do? What are they going to do if they take Ukraine? Nothing.
It might be like an Israel-Palestine thing. Maybe they pew pew, and then they're like, okay, let's not.
But Ukraine's not as strong as Russia. They just got a bunch of money from the rest of Europe. But I don't know. And I think the United States may have given them money as well. I don't know about the current news on that. Yeah. But my thing is, I just feel like giving them money isn't going to be enough. It's like the Middle East, right? Supplying them with guns and stuff. It did nothing to prevent what happened after the U.S. pulled out.
Absolutely.
In every case. Yeah. In any case, when the U.S. pulls out of the Middle East, it's a shit show. It doesn't work. And I'm not saying we need to stay there.
That's why you wear a condom. Don't pull out.
Jay's good advice. Don't be like one of the kids from the Umbrella Academy.
But no, man, I don't even understand why Russia needs Ukraine.
Oh, I don't think they need it. I think they just are trying to rebuild the Russian Empire. They want to be the USSR again.
Nobody gives a fuck.
The old KGB people do. And that's who's running the country right now.
It's wild to think about, man. I can't even.
You remember back when Obama was president? Was it like 2008 or 10 or something like that? And that was when Russia first invaded Ukraine,
Yeah.
and they took the southern tip where all the oil is and everything. I think it's oil. That was crazy at that time. I was really thinking there might be some sort of war that might happen. Nothing happened.
Oh yeah, everybody did. It was huge.
And everyone's
news.
so freaked out about the nuclear warheads that we have now. And I think that's been the big thing that's prevented any wars since
that was the whole
their
point.
creation, you know?
It was war prevention. Yeah.
And so far it's worked in a way. But I don't know. I just feel like
you microwave me.
Yeah. Mutually assured destruction. Yeah.
I don't think it'll happen really unless there has to be an outlier who is like very irrational, and it's probably like Kim Jong-un.
Oh, I know.
So it's like,
North Korea
we actually do have that
North
player
Korea freaks me out
in the game right now. But outside of him, I don't see it happening. You know, really. Everybody has.
Yeah, I think Putin just
too many things
wants to flex. I don't think he wants to get into a war with the United States.
No.
But I just almost kind of wonder if maybe he can take Ukraine and there won't actually be any way to stop him. You could put sanctions on them. You could prevent trade with Russia.
That's kind of the vibe I'm getting is
I think they're going to take an economic war. I think they're going to do a political economic war. I don't think it'll be any sort of
So if they do start the invasion, I'm not sure what kind of physical confrontation there's going to be, but there's going to be heavy economic and financial sanctions against Russia. How badly is that going to deter them? I'm not sure.
Russia's kind of poor. Like, a lot of people in Russia are pretty poor right now.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know.
It's hard to say, man. You want to go to Russia and check it out?
You know, maybe not. Maybe we wait.
Well, I've heard it's a good time. A lot of people take the trains around. It's just like taking the train.
I would love to go to Moscow. I think I just don't want to go to Moscow at the current moment.
Right now?
You know what I mean?
Come on, man.
With the Cold War Part 2 coming up right now.
Come on. Let's go.
So,
drink vodka.
Speaking of cold, we have up north a little bit. We got Canada. There's that trucker strike. You've heard about that, right?
Canada.
So, I think it was out of Ottawa, and it's kind of spread to Ontario now. Right on the border with the United States. So my understanding...
Who's striking what?
So the truckers, my understanding are striking because they were trying to make COVID restrictions on truckers traveling from the United States into Canada that they needed to prove vaccination status. Not really sure why they're protesting over that. I think a lot of places are requiring vaccination status, but maybe they're just a little bit more conservative.
Almost
they're worried about
everywhere.
Yeah. But what they've been doing is they're blocking a bridge, I think, between Canada and the United States. I thought
Canadians were docile.
You'd think.
I thought they were harmless, docile creatures.
Just eating their little Canadian
they were
bacon.
Pro-vaxxers.
Their cute little hats and all that.
What in the world?
Right? You would think. With their little A at the end of every statement.
Just eating donuts and...
But I guess not.
Playing hockey? Okay, whatever. Fucking burn it all.
The truckers, though, they've been obnoxiously honking their horns, so a lot of people are mad because there's been a sound issue. But there's also, obviously, inability to transport goods. The truckers themselves, the ones who are transporting all of the things that people buy at stores, all the food people eat at restaurants and buy and all that, they're not working. They're blocking the street, too, which is preventing other people.
Because they don't want to provide proof of vaccination?
That's my understanding. Or at least they don't want to have to worry about whatever the restriction is between entering from the United States into Canada. But it's a COVID vaccination proof, is my understanding. So right now, Ontario has declared a state of emergency, I heard, because they don't know what to do. And I think they're considering maybe like forcibly removing them, arresting them. And I don't know how Canada's laws work, right? In the United States, we have the right to peacefully assemble and protest. But even that, if you're blocking a public street, I'm pretty sure they can make you move. Yeah. I don't know what Canada's looks like, though. I don't know what their laws and their constitution.
They'll show up on a horse. You can't move a truck with a horse.
You think? Just pull it like a wagon.
I don't know.
I
don't
was
know how
looking up.
aggressive Canada is willing to get. We'll see.
I don't know if they're declaring a state of emergency.
Because America will move your ass out the fucking way. We'll shoot your ass.
They will. They will. Get out the way. Honestly.
Yeah, interesting.
It kind of makes me think back to the Black Lives Matter protest back in 2020 over the summer, because you had a lot of people that were blocking streets, and there was a lot of it.
There was that one guy who ran people over and killed at least one or two people or something.
Something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I don't know with that, right? You had a lot of people kind of like, well, if you're gonna be in the middle of the street, like, and I don't know. That's hard to say.
No, there's no fair game. There's
like, I feel like you shouldn't be able to kill someone if there's any way to prevent it. I don't think someone getting in the way of you just trying to get to a destination is reason enough to kill someone.
An advanced, delicate, complex society. There's an event happening in a city, crowded people, road is blocked off. You obviously made the choice to like go fucking run people over. Exactly. It's like there's no gray area. You can't make an excuse. Yeah. It's like our life is so fucking complex and delicate. Everybody knows what the fuck is going on. We know what's what.
You heard about...
You just made a terrible decision.
The issue that was going on with that truck driver, right, that his brakes went out and he accidentally rammed into traffic and killed a couple people, right? That he's being charged with murder. Which is really interesting because there's been similar situations of white people having the same thing happen with their brakes going out and they didn't get charged with murder. And this guy's of color, so it's becoming a racial thing. So it's really interesting seeing how that's going. I know a lot of people have been really upset about that. And I guess when I first heard about it, I was like, well, his brakes went out. Like, how can you possibly at all blame him, right? But I guess there was some sort of turn-off. There's a turn-off that he could have taken, and he didn't.
There's a runaway
But
ramp
I'm also like, how fast was he going? Was he able to turn? Would he have hit cars trying to get off this ramp? Like, I don't know enough details about it. But if maybe he did have the possibility to get off, maybe he is a little bit at fault. But at the same time, I do see the difference at times how people of different ethnicities are treated in the United States. I think we can all agree on that. If you don't, my apologies. But it's there, right in front of your face.
Yeah.
So maybe there is some factual statement to that. Maybe he is being treated differently than someone else would in the same situation. I don't know.
Strange.
It's really hard to say. Was there anything else?
I think we need to wrap it up here. What's our last topic?
Well, we didn't really talk about Valentine's Day. Like, we know that it is Valentine's Day, but let's talk about Valentine's Day real quick. What are you doing for Valentine's Day?
What am I doing for Valentine's Day?
Are you taking me out, baby?
Yeah.
Taking me out to a nice dinner?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm going to give you a massage.
Oh, I hope so.
Rub you down with some baby
massage
oil.
A little bit. That'd be really great. I'd love it.
Full body massage. No, I have a special friend.
A special friend? I love special friends.
A special friend.
Especially when they're my friends. Are you taking this kind young gentleman, this lad, out to dinner, or?
Yeah, him and I will be going to brunch.
Oh, very good.
We're not doing a Valentine's Day dinner because I have to fucking work.
Oh, just quit.
And I
thought you were just working at the Garden Shed now.
Oh yeah, I have to work at.
I'm not gonna make you work.
Garden Shed Studios that day until like 9 p.m. So
definitely not flicking coffee beans or anything like that. Well,
what are you doing?
I'm gonna be going out to dinner. I will be working on set. I'm gonna be on Big Sky.
On Monday?
Uh-huh.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there. I don't know what time yet. They haven't given me my call time. When I get done
Movie star over here.
I know. I actually almost got double booked. Universal Studios wanted me to do a costume fitting, and it was gonna be on Monday. And I was like, oh, so no.
Got in? Did you get in for that?
I'm gonna be a military cop.
No
I'm gonna be an
way.
MP. Yeah.
Dude, I didn't apply for that just because.
You still can. They have so many roles.
Oh, really?
Like, they're still looking to cast people. Last I heard for, like, this lab technicians or something.
Is it in Central New Mexico, or where is it?
It's northern, I think. Northern and Central.
Okay. So I was like, I'm not trying to drive, like...
There is a bump, but it...
More than an hour.
You know.
I'm done.
Like, I didn't get a bump when I went on Trigger Warning, and I went out to Espanola. It's an hour and a half away. And I was mad. I got to Jemez for Big Sky, and they give me a bump. And I'm like, that's not even as far. Yeah. It's like a 45-minute drive. That made me mad.
Trigger warning was the worst.
I hated Trigger Warning. Jessica Alba. You got to actually see her though. You got to see her and I didn't. I, unlike you, have not really gotten to experience many of the actors on set, but on Big Sky, when I'm on there, there's the two main actresses. Now the blonde one is so snobby like that too though.
Really?
She kind of like don't bother me. Now she's not mean, but she definitely kind of has this like don't bother me attitude. And a lot of the other main actors, like the guy who plays like the sheriff, the I don't remember their names, but the African American lady, super nice.
The pregnant one?
Yeah, dude.
She was
she
awesome.
Waves. She's like, "How's your day going? How
dude,
are you
I
doing?
like bumped
Thank
shoulders with
here."
her and like grabbed a door for her, and she was like,
yeah,
so cool,
right?
I was like, oh, thanks, man.
I don't know if you've watched the show, but there's like the head sheriff or something like that. He's also really nice. He literally was talking to me. Like there was like this broken, there was just like this broken glass scene. And we were just kind of stepping on it, and he was just like making some joke about it or whatever. And then we got to talking, and I was like, what acting agency did you get cast through? Like he was like really open to talk to me. And the blonde actress was in the scene, and she totally just like not. I don't know who you are, but I don't want to judge. I don't know
who gets paid the most.
Maybe in that case, right? Maybe she's trying to be like in character. Maybe she's doing some method acting thing.
No, because I seen her be all preppy and like jump around and like, okay, take two, and she was like jumping around and joking. Yeah. And then I seen her on a different day.
But maybe
she had the resting bitch face.
Maybe there's some like personal stuff in her life that goes on. Oh, I mean, we just don't know. That's so hard to say.
I don't know this
because they're people too. Actors are people too. Like we were talking about earlier with celebrities, right? In general,
I'm a fucking asshole sometimes.
So yeah, you never know. It happens. Valentine's Day though, I'm gonna be going out to dinner. I'm not even sure where yet because I don't know what time I'm gonna be on set. That's been the big issue. But once I get done, I'm gonna be taking my new girlfriend. We're going to be going out to dinner somewhere. We'll see where. Not sure yet.
I think I'm going to bail on work and go out to dinner.
You should go out to dinner.
I'm going to
take your lad, your young lad.
My special friend. It's not a lad, okay?
It's Alyssa. I know exactly who it is. No. I'm breaking the news. I know who it is. It's my friend. I've known her longer.
Yeah, there's this reoccurring thing that Eris introduces me to his female friends, and then
you fuck them. We're cutting, by the way. We're cutting, but I'm gonna call your ass out. You fuck all my friends.
What the? It's not my fault. So, part of my Valentine's Day surprise to Eris is we're taking nudes with the Polaroid.
Make sure to subscribe to our OnlyFans.
And I made you a candle.
Aww.
I made you a candle.
Let me smell this candle. Okay,
it's very
for our audio
beautiful.
Listeners, sort of layered. Okay, it's sort of like purplish on the bottom, red. Then it's like a lighter kind of purple into blue, and it's very like light blue on the top, like a navy blue. Oh, it smells so good. And there's herbs all over the top.
Like each layer has a totally different scent profile.
Oh wow, I'm gonna have to burn it.
Yeah.
To find out.
I try to go contrast on the top.
Like, this is a nice size candle.
It's like 2 pounds.
Like both hands can't even like
hold this thing. It's a big ass candle.
It smells really
but
nice,
the coolest part I think is the slices in the top. Like
yes, that's the first thing I noticed. Yeah.
Orange slices that I made in wax. Yeah, some flowers.
You made them with wax?
Yeah, in like a little silicone mold thing.
That's super cool. Yeah. You had to melt it into it then?
Yeah, just pour it into the max and punch them out.
Wow. Yeah. That's really cool.
It makes little wedges. I think it looks cool.
Looks dope.
It looks like a martini. That was the main idea. Is like the first couple that I made, it looked like a cocktail with like oranges in it. And I was like, oh, that's a cool candle idea. Make it look like drinks.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and get a picture then.
Okay. Do you want my dick hard or soft?
Can we do like in between?
Oh, okay.
You think?
I'll get a little chub.
Like, you put the hot dog in the microwave a little too long?
Split it down the middle. Let's take a selfie.
You ready, Captain?
I think the flash is on, so watch out.
Oh, you're gonna blind me? Oh, beautiful. Let's see what that does for us.
It'll take a minute.
Wonderful.
Let's take more. That was fun.
Alright, go. Just ready?
Sit down.
Right here. Where's it gonna go?
I don't know.
Where's it gonna go? Ah! It's taking forever.
Oh my God.
Take the fucking.
Don't shake it.
Aren't you supposed to?
Oh.
It's taking so long.